Dear friends, welcome to yet another installment of Orbital Geek. In this video, we're going to dive into what we call the paradox of time, the question of whether the past, present and future are happening simultaneously, or if only the present moment is genuine. We'll discuss the theory of relativity and quantum mechanics to understand whether what is to come is already determined or if we still have free will. But after all, what is time? Could it just be an illusion of our mind? Watch until the end to uncover the fascinating possibilities about the nature of time and reflect. Is your life predetermined, or can you influence your own destiny? Don't miss it. Have you ever wondered if your past, present and future are all happening at this very moment? It's possible they are. But how is that possible? What does that imply? How does time work? Imagine the universe as a child drawing on a sheet of paper. Each drawing represents everything that is happening in the universe in a single instant. In each new instant, an infinity of things happen everywhere. People are born and die, galactic civilizations expand, you miss the bus, and our child universe makes a new drawing, replacing the previous one. So we have something like a movie, only the present moment is real. What happened is gone. The future is yet to come and hasn't been drawn yet. That's more or less how time seems to be, right? Each moment being replaced by the next. The past is well behind us. The future has not yet arrived. But what if time was something completely different? What if the child universe had already finished all its drawings and stacked them on top of each other? That way, we get a block of time that spans the entire history of the universe. All the moments that have already happened or will happen are contained in that block. But within that block, in that stack of moments, the past, present and future are equally real and coexist simultaneously. This may seem contradictory because we only perceive as real the things that are happening right now. How then can the past and future be considered real now? The dilemma is that, according to the theory of relativity, they need to be. Simplified, relativity tells us that time and space are not separate entities, but are parts of a whole called space-time. When you move through space, you are also moving through that block of time. This implies that time passes differently for different people, depending on how they move in relation to each other in space. This also means that what someone perceives as now is only a specific cut along that block, a cut that varies depending on the speed of movement. Therefore, what you consider as now is really just your now. There are multiple different nows in the universe, and they are all equally real. This also suggests that there is no universal past or future. Okay, let's simplify this. Imagine 3 alien spaceships a million light years away. The first one is just standing still in space, not moving in relation to you. You and it share the same now, the same present moment. If there was an instant magical internet connection, you could video call now and chat about alien affairs. The second ship is flying away from us at 30 kilometers per second, about 3 times faster than a human rocket. It is moving differently through the block of time than you are, which means its now is different from yours. With that magical internet, the aliens could chat with their ancestors in 1924, when humanity was just starting to discover the first galaxies beyond the Milky Way. The third spaceship is heading towards Earth at 30 kilometers per second, moving at an opposite angle to the second ship through the block of time. It experiences a different now. Using that magical internet, the aliens could talk to their descendants in the year 2124, when humanity had already built cities on Mars and Venus. So we have 3 different nows, but which one of them is correct? That's the dilemma. Relativity is based on a powerful principle, cosmic democracy. The viewpoint of every observer in the universe is equally valid. All those nows have to be equally real. If that's the case, then your past, present, and future have to exist at the same time, right now. Because for the different aliens, everything is happening in their present. This implies that the distinction between past, present, and future is an illusion. The universe is not like a movie, where things evolve along time. It's more like a static block, where past, present and future coexist and are equally real. How is this possible? Well, think of a galaxy beyond the observable range of the universe, so distant that we could never visit or see it. Yet even though we can't reach it or observe it, it's still real. The same could be true for the future. If the past is not far from us and the future already exists, then there is no movie of the universe. Things aren't happening. The universe simply is, like a frozen block of cosmic ice, with everything that's going to happen already predetermined and set. If all times coexist and are equally real, then the future is predestined. However, that doesn't match the experience we have. It seems like we can shape our own future with our choices. It seems like we have the freedom to decide, say, to stop watching YouTube so we don't miss the bus. But if the future is already set, then are our choices just an illusion? Well, maybe. Maybe our free will is an illusion. And maybe missing the bus was predestined from the beginning of the universe, so feel free to keep watching. Quantum things always complicating things again. Quantum processes are unpredictable, not even in theory. It's not for lack of competence on our part. According to quantum physics, quantum particles are intrinsically random. For instance, if you have a radioactive atom, it might decay at any moment, be it the next second or the next million years. We can calculate the probability of it decaying tomorrow, but there's no way to know for sure if it will or won't. But quantum particles have the power to change the world. Imagine a radioactive atom randomly decaying and causing a genetic mutation in a nearby mammal. Many generations later, that mutation could result in a weird creature, a mix of duck and mammal that makes no sense. Or maybe the atom decays a day later, and that weird creature never exists. If quantum things are truly uncertain, then the future cannot be fully defined. But if the future is uncertain, it cannot be as real as the past. So what happens when these quantum uncertainties become real? Is that the present moment? Is this the now? But we saw before that cosmic democracy makes defining an absolute now impossible. What's going on here? It turns out that for each individual object, you, an alien, an atom, the past, present, and future are always well defined. Your death will always come after your birth, never before, and never at the same time. Right now, you are clearly in between your birth and death. So at least for you, the now makes total sense. If we don't play tricks like going to the other side of the universe and using aliens in funny ways to figure out what now means, things seem orderly and nice again, and individual nows seem to exist. So what can we make of this? Let's go back to our block universe. Maybe the block doesn't include the future, and maybe we've imagined it wrongly. Maybe the block is just the past, and a thin layer on the surface is the present. That surface is not smooth, but bumpy and uneven. It was shaped by the merging of countless individual nows, each one experienced by someone or something in the universe, each one equally real and valid. And all observers contribute, so cosmic democracy still holds. As new things happen and uncertainties become certainties, radioactive atoms decay, new species of mammals arise, people miss buses, the front moves forward, creating new time in the universe. Instead of a frozen block of time with a predetermined future, the block is growing and things are happening. You can decide your own future again. Maybe you'll decide to leave earlier so you don't miss the bus. Let's recap. We started with the idea of time as a movie, one now after the other, where only the present moment is real. Then we found that due to relativity, there are multiple nows, all of them somehow real, which could mean we're living in a frozen block universe where things don't happen and maybe we don't have free will. And we ended up with a kind of expanding universe where time keeps passing and the future remains open. So which of these views is correct? What's real? The present? The past? Are dinosaurs as real as you right now? And what do the aliens on the other side of the universe think about all this? To be honest, no one knows for sure. What we learned are just two ways of describing time, but they are not the only ones. Some scientists think the idea of a now only makes sense in relation to oneself, but not necessarily in the context of the universe as a whole. Others believe that time itself cannot even exist, that the whole concept is an illusion of the human mind. And there are still those who believe that time exists, but not as a fundamental entity of the universe. Instead, it may be something that emerges from a deeper level of reality, just as heat arises from the motion of individual molecules, or life arises from the interactions of inanimate proteins. Based on the scientific knowledge presented, it is clear that the nature of time is an extraordinarily complex concept and still not fully understood. Einstein's theory of relativity shows us that the now is relative, with different observers experiencing distinct moments in the space-time continuum. At the same time, the principles of quantum mechanics introduce a fundamental uncertainty, suggesting that the future cannot be fully determined. However, the established laws of physics also indicate that, for an individual observer, past, present, and future follow a defined and causal order. Macroscopic deterministic events coexist with probabilistic quantum phenomena in a fascinating cosmic dance. So, what is really happening? Is the future already set, or is it a potential to be shaped? Is your destiny already traced, or do you have the freedom to write your own story? Will the human mind fully comprehend the space-time fabric, or is time fundamentally an illusion? We would like to hear your perspective on this profound and intriguing enigma. Is your interpretation of time definitive or open to revisions? Base your opinion on evidence, but allow your imagination to venture into the realms of the unknown. The nature of time eagerly awaits your ideas.